Welcome to Midnight Guest. If you're hearing my voice, then it's already too late to turn back. Tonight, you'll hear 3 true encounters. Stories whispered in the dark, the kind that leave you staring at shadows long after the video ends. One takes place in the walls of your own home. One through the crackling static of a baby monitor. And the last, outside your very window. Each one different, each one worse than the last. So sit back, stay quiet, and whatever you do, don't look behind you. It started with little things. A plate left in the sink, clothes folded the wrong way, the faint sound of footsteps. When she was sure she was alone. At first, she thought she was losing her mind. She worked late shifts, came home exhausted. Maybe she just forgot where she'd left things. But then, it got stranger. The TV turning on by itself, volume low, always to static. A chair pulled slightly back from the table, though she swore she pushed it in. Her toothbrush damp at night when she hadn't used it since morning. One night, she woke at 3 a.m. to the sound of silverware clinking, the sound of a fork scraping across a plate. Her heart pounded as she crept toward the kitchen. The light flickered above the sink. It was empty, but the smell of hot food lingered in the air, as if someone had just cooked and eaten in silence. She couldn't take it anymore. The next morning, she called a friend. Together, they searched every inch of the apartment. Closets, bathroom, nothing. Then they opened the hatch to the attic. A wave of hot, stale air spilled out. The smell was thick, sweat, unwashed clothes, and something sour like spoiled milk. Inside, wedged between insulation and pipes, was a filthy blanket. Empty food containers stacked like trash in the corner. A cracked phone screen. Even half-burned candles melted down onto the wooden beams. Someone had been living there, watching her every move, listening when she slept, crawling down when she left for work to live inside her home as if it was his own. When the police came, they dragged out a man, eyes bloodshot, hair matted with grease, silent, just staring. He had been there all along, breathing above her ceiling, eating at her table, watching her in the dark. She moved out the very next day, but even now she checks every closet, every hatch, every dark corner in every place she lives. Because once you've seen eyes staring back from the darkness, you never forget them. If you're still listening, you've already invited the story into your house. Now leave a like, subscribe, and pray it doesn't stay. Because the next story, it doesn't hide in the walls, it speaks to you when you least expect it. She placed the monitor on the nightstand, a routine every parent knows. The soft static of her child breathing helped her sleep. But that night, something was wrong. At 2 a.m., she stirred awake. The static had changed. It was faint, but unmistakable. A voice. At first, she thought it was interference, a neighbor's radio. But then, the voice sharpened, low, male, whispering directly into the monitor. "Don't worry, I'm already here." Her blood turned to ice. She bolted upright, staring at the monitor. Her baby was quiet, still asleep. Shaking, she rushed into the nursery. The crib was exactly as she'd left it, her child sleeping peacefully. But the window was cracked open. The curtains swayed in the cold air. She slammed it shut, locked it, and snatched her baby from the crib. The rest of the night, she didn't sleep. Every creak, every rustle outside the house made her clutch her child tighter. The next morning, she replayed the recording, static, then clear as day. "I'm already here." She bought a new monitor, moved the crib, installed locks on every window. But deep down, she knew the truth. That voice wasn't on the airwaves. It was in the room. She lived on the ground floor. It seemed harmless enough, a quiet street, curtains drawn at night. But then it began, a faint tapping on the glass. Soft, rhythmic, every night, around 1 a.m. At first, she ignored it, told herself it was branches in the wind, but one morning, she noticed something that made her stomach drop. Handprints, smudged into the glass. Not hers, too large, pressed against the window as if someone had leaned in and watched. The taps continued, night after night, growing louder, more insistent. One evening, she decided to stay awake. She turned off every light, sat in the corner, and waited. At exactly 1:03 a.m., the tapping began. Slow, steady, closer this time. She forced herself to pull back the curtain, and froze. A man stood inches from the glass. His face pale, eyes wide, lips stretched into a smile that never moved. He didn't flinch, didn't blink, just stared straight into her. Her scream ripped through the house, but he didn't budge, not until she grabbed her phone. Then he melted into the darkness. By the time the police arrived, he was gone. But outside, beneath the window, they found something, a small stool, placed neatly against the wall. The only way he could have reached high enough to press his hands against the glass. She moved to a second-floor apartment weeks later, but sometimes, when she closes the curtains at night, she swears she hears it again. That soft, deliberate tap, as if he's still searching for her window. 3 stories. 3 reminders that horror doesn't just live in haunted houses or ghost tales. Sometimes it hides in the crawlspace above your head. Sometimes it whispers to your child while you sleep. And sometimes it waits, patient and smiling, just outside your window. If you're hearing this now, you made it to the end. But the night isn't over. When this video finishes, another begins. And if you're brave enough, press play. The darkness is waiting.